Land, on the other hand, is meaningless to them. River otters are the most athletic and mobile species. Although both otters consume carrion, their diets are vastly distinct. River otters hunt for fish, frogs, small birds, crustaceans, and anything else that comes into their waterways. They hunt when opportunities arise and are quick to adapt. However, sea otters are obsessed with shellfish. Abalone, clams, and sea urchins are some of their favorite foods. The use of tools by sea otters sets them apart. They will hammer a shell open while floating on their backs, grabbing a rock. Yes, they are one of the few non-human animals who frequently employ tools. It's not just about food, it's also about how to do it. Advantage? Sea otters. Another significant distinction is social life. Sea otters place a greater emphasis on community. They form rafts, which are groups of otters floating together while occasionally holding onto each other with their paws. River otters prefer to live alone or in small families. They do play together and interact, but unlike the ocean, you won't see huge parties of otter. Sea otters are certain to win this contest if we judge them on the basis of their cuteness and social bonds. Move into battle mode now. Who comes out on top in a hypothetical face-off between a river otter and a sea otter? We don't recommend it, this is just a fun comparison. The river otter's speed and aggressiveness are its main advantages. These guys are tough and territorial, and if they have to, they can chase away larger animals. They have been seen attacking small alligators and snakes. You shouldn't underestimate them. Sea otters are bigger and stronger, but they weren't made to fight. They are more relaxed and concentrate more on floating, foraging, and grooming. It would depend on the location if it came down to a one-on-one confrontation. River otters' quickness would kill sea otters on land. River otters once again dominate shallow lakes and rivers. However, a sea otter's size and familiarity with its environment would give it an advantage in the sea, particularly in dense kelp forests. Overall, the river otter may come out on top in terms of toughness, but the sea otter comes out on top in terms of size and intelligence. The sea otter has a major advantage in intelligence. Advanced cognitive function can be seen in their ability to use tools, construct floating nurseries for their pups, and even store their favorite rocks in skin pockets. They have been observed collaborating, resolving issues, and exhibiting emotion. The sea otter is superior to river otters in terms of intelligence. Sea otters triumph in the mental game. However, river otters are more tolerant of human environments, which is a surprising finding. They have returned to parts of the Midwest and Southeast of the United States where they were once extinct. They have been observed in urban rivers, suburban lakes, and even ditches along roadsides. Oil spills, habitat destruction, and pollution all have a much greater impact on sea otters. Despite their success in conservation, they are still restricted to specific coastal areas. River otter adaptability wins out when it comes to survival in a world dominated by humans. Who comes out on top in the ultimate otter showdown? It depends on your highest priorities. The river otter is your champion if you're rooting for toughness, agility, and resilience. The sea otter rises to the top if you're looking for intelligence, beauty, and charm. Each of them is a remarkable animal, perfectly suited to its particular environment. It's more about how nature makes different kinds of brilliance rather than which one is superior. Who are the real losers? Us. Because we get to share this amazing planet with both of these animals. You are witnessing two very different expressions of the same wild magic, whether you watch a sea otter crack a shell open off the coast of California or a river otter dart through a stream in Michigan. Give an otter, or any otter, the respect it deserves the next time you see it. There is a warrior, genius, and survivor hiding behind that adorable face. And if you're lucky, you might even get to see them in action, battling the elements, outwitting predators, and maybe even mastering the art of sliding down a muddy hill. Let's take a look at some of the most bizarre, and memorable myths ever told about otters to see if any of them are true. The Inuit people of the Arctic are the source of one of the scariest myths. The myth of the Qalupalik, a sea creature that entices children into the icy water, is one of them. In some versions of the story, the otter plays a similar role, seducing children with its playful nature before submerging them, despite the fact that the Qalupalik is frequently compared to a mermaid. The otter emerges as a symbol of inquisitiveness, mischief, and the dangers of falling prey to the beauty of nature without exercising caution. Otters are depicted as much more benevolent in Celtic mythology. In Irish folklore, otters were regarded as sacred creatures associated with water spirits, loyalty, and protection. They were also known as the water dog or dobhar-ch. It was advised to hunters who encountered otters not to harm them because doing so could cause misfortune or enrage the fae. Some stories even said that otters were warriors or druids who could change their shape and lived among animals as part of a spiritual quest. In stark contrast to contemporary notions of otters as zoo animals or pets, they were regarded as mystical beings with a higher purpose. Then there is the darker version of the dobhar-ch, which is described as a monstrous otter-dog hybrid that is hungry for blood. A woman drowned in a lake while taking a bath in one Irish legend. After her husband defeated the beast and killed it, its even larger mate attacked him. Although the story was taken seriously enough to have a carving of the creature placed on a grave in County Leitrim, it sounds like a cross between a horror film and a fantasy epic. Myth or animal sighting that was misinterpreted? Regardless, it demonstrates that otters once possessed a much more terrifying reputation than they do today. Otters also play a big part in Native American stories, often as tricksters. The land otter people, also known as Kushtaka, were depicted in the myths of the Tlingit and other Pacific Northwest tribes as being able to switch between human and otter forms. Depending on the story, Kushtaka may either find lost travelers and rescue them or lure them away and permanently alter them. They were only mysterious and powerful, not evil or good in and of themselves. Some believed that the Kushtaka could prevent reincarnation or steal souls. Even now, some Alaskans claim to have seen them. Otters, also known as kawaso in Japanese folklore, are said to be magical shapeshifters. It is said that kawaso, like Kitsune the fox and Tanuki the raccoon dog, take human form and frequently mischievously pretend to be beautiful women or monks on the move. Although they aren't necessarily dangerous, they love to confuse and deceive people. Even the old adage that if you see someone at night and their reflection in the water doesn't match, they might be an otter disguised by you is still he. Consider the possibility that the jovial river creature you thought was so cute might be outthinking you. There are even myths about otters in South America. The giant river otter is viewed with both awe and fear in the Amazon. These massive, vocal otters have long been considered guardians of the waterways by local tribes. They are said to be the reincarnations of river gods, according to some myths, while others tell travelers not to harm them or they run the risk of being cursed by the spirits of the jungle. It is not difficult to comprehend how giant otters earned their place in legend with their